What's going on, Wolfpack? Time again for another wolfofbricks.com update. I am Jim, and of course, this is where we talk about Lego investing and reselling. So before we get into the main topic, I would just like to kindly ask you to subscribe and like this channel. We have a push where we're trying our hardest to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I was out 2 weeks this month because of an illness, and the kids are home from school, so I haven't been able to produce as much content as I normally would, which definitely would ensure that we would hit 5,000 by the end of the month. But at the end of the day, it's all up to you. We had over 6,000 new viewers last month, and we would just like to ask people, if they haven't, to go ahead and subscribe. All right, so right now you're just looking at google.com. I noticed over the last couple of days, there is this new word that is trying to be coined, which in all honesty, I'm not a fan of, but at the end of the day, these are the kind of people that I and everybody else, when it comes to Lego reselling, needs. The kidults, right? So if you just go to Google and you type in kidults, you'll see a bunch of articles where it says kidults are adults buying toys for themselves for nostalgia and stress relief. There's another one from CNBC. It says adults are buying toys for themselves, and it's the biggest source of growth in the industry, which is great, right? We have a potential recession looming at the beginning of the year. Some people say we're already in it, and that's fine. I am the treasurer of my homeowners association, and I collect the checks at the end of the year for the homeowners dues. And I noticed that in our neighborhood that people are dropping off the checks a lot later than they have the last couple of years, right? So that's just something that I bookmark in my head, and I try and add that data to my mind and think about what's going on with the potential of a recession at the beginning of the year. All right, let's talk about the Jazz Club. Now, the Jazz Club, this was something I thought about talking in the icebreaker portion of the video, where I talk about a couple things at the beginning and then move on to the main topic. But I said to myself, you know what? I like this set so much, I just want to do a whole video on it. And you heard me. I like this set a lot. I think this is a great looking set for many reasons. It has a lot of elements that you don't see too much of, and I just love it, love it, love it, love it. So this is it right here. It has a January 4th release date, and the price is $229, which is, I mean, it's priced to sell, right? But it's definitely not discounted. It's definitely not that diner that I believe was $169 and change, right? But listen, I love this set a lot. I love the color. When you look at the last few modulars, I mean, it was lacking color. You have the police station. You have that last corner modular that looks like something that needs to belong in Florida because it's just a lack of color and it's all sun bleached and all that stuff. Nothing against Florida. I have close friends in Florida. But there is a lot of stuff going on. You have the red brick. You have the pizzeria. Everybody should know how I feel about any type of pizzeria or pizza stand when it comes to Legos. I'm a huge fan of that. And you have a lot of other components as well. I mean, overall, this is a well-balanced set. And let me just say again, I'm usually not a fan of the modular buildings, and when I say modular, I'm talking about the creator experts, because they all do, for the most part, seem somewhat cookie cutter, right? But this right here, it does look a little bit cookie cutter, but because of the colors, it just blends in very, very well. And I'm a big fan of the architecture at the top right there. I have an issue with modern and contemporary buildings not having that old architecture at the top. I am a huge fan of that architecture at the top. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to check out some modulars of the past, and then we're going to go ahead and at the end of the video we're going to have an Excel spreadsheet to see what these modulars have sold at and to see what their ROIs are. I do have it for Amazon and I do have it for eBay. So when you go to Amazon and you type in Lego modular, you could just see that there are tons and tons and tons of modulars. You have the Assembly Square, man. There were so many people that were telling me to buy Assembly Square years ago, and I just refused to, and I'm happy that I did not purchase that. You have the Boutique Hotel. That was the one I was talking about when it comes to lack of color. The Corner Garage is a modular that I was a fan of, and I regret not purchasing it. Again, I love that bright brick color. The Jazz Club has a brighter brick color, which I think is great, but I also like the corner garage. And you could go down and down and down and do all kinds of due diligence when it comes to that. The Cinema Cafe, that was a set that we gave away about a year, maybe 2 years ago on the channel. And starting next month, we will be giving away one set a month, a retired set a month, that is. So this right here is the Creator Expert Pet Shop. Now this retired a while ago, but the reason why I put this up here is because this was a set that I owned. I think maybe around 10 or 12 of them. Current price is $369. When you go to Camel 3X, you could see right here, I sold it somewhere, I think around here. I was just ready to get that set out of there. There seemed to be a lot of stagnation. At the same time, this is a set that was over-hoarded. I knew so many people that had the pet shops. And then once COVID hit, I mean, it was off to the races. But you had to wait a while for it to be off to the races, right? And now it's kind of stagnant again. It's around $369. Anybody that is still holding on to it, I have no idea why. But that's their business model, not mine. This right here is a corner garage. We talked about this moments ago. I actually think the corner garage would pair well with the police station if the bricks were the same color, because any police station needs a motor pool, right? And they could have converted this into a police corner garage, right? And this set has been retired less than a year, and it seems to be doing pretty well. When you go to Camel 3X, I mean, it was boom, right? It went from $199 to immediately $100 over RRP, which is great. And then it started to peak a little bit more, and then we have these guys right here, right? It's a race to the bottom because it's Q4, and that's what people do, right? They don't want to hold on to it. Another Q4, which they should have probably dumped before Q4 so they could have got it at a better price. But these people right here are definitely the ones that don't have diamond hands, and shame on them for doing the race to the bottom. And next up is the Downtown Diner, set number 10260. This set was gold. This set was money. It was very obvious that this set was going to do well. Now this one does have bright colors too, not the bright brick red colors, but it does have a bunch of other bright colors. So that makes me wonder if there's a correlation between high modular resale prices and the bright colors versus maybe a lower resale price and the colors aren't as bright. That would be interesting to do some research on that. And when you go to Camel 3X, you could see that this is a very great chart right here. I mean, boom, it was off to the races. And when you click on remove extreme values, this was not a one-off. When you click on the extreme values, that's definitely not a one-off. There was probably multiple units sold. So if you timed it right, you could have purchased it at $169 and change, and then sold it at $449 and change. And that would have only been a short amount of time. Of course, it did dip down a lot, but now it's starting to have a little bit of a comeback. But of course, there is stagnation. I'm not sure why anybody would continue to hold on to it now, but it is what it is. So when you go to the Excel, you can see these are the three sets that I talked about. Again, keep in mind the pet shop, that retired a long time ago, so people should have sold that a lot sooner than what they already did. The Downtown Diner is doing pretty well right now. And the corner garage, it's at 65% on Amazon, 53% on eBay. But just keep in mind, this is a set that has been retired less than a year, right? So overall, looking pretty good for the modular sets. Not all modular sets, right? There are some modular sets that are different and not created equal than others. But when it does come to the Jazz Club, I am a huge fan of this set. I'm a huge fan of jazz. I'm not sure if anybody watching this is a fan of the TV show Homeland that was on Showtime, the way they were able to put jazz into that show. I mean, I just loved it. But hope you enjoyed the video, my friends. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, I'm Jim with wolfofbricks.com. Always go out there and get it.